Hi, I'm Gavin. So what I thought I'd do is just talk about two zoom lenses that you come across and sort of talk about the value of both of them. Okay, so the two lenses we're going to look at is this. Oh, there it is, focus. This is the Canon 24 to 70 ultrasonic EF mount lens. It's like the standard lens for zoom lens for Canon cameras, now being replaced by the RF mount version, which is slightly different, I believe, and I've got to stop faster. But this has been like the standard version for years. This is the L2 version, USM. And the other lens we're going to look at is the one of the enigmas of the internet. This is the Tokina. There it is. Okay, this is the Tokina f2.6 to f2.8, 28 to 70 ATX Pro, which is, according to the internet, something to do with Ingenue. Now, there's a video I've done about this, which I'll put in the description. You can link to it. You can watch that video and see how you feel about it. But these are sort of raise a fair bit of cash online now because of the Ingenue connection, which I'll just come out and say I don't really believe there is much of an Ingenue connection between this lens and Ingenue. Anyway, so have a look. But I mean, this is probably, I don't know, the prices are getting similar. You get these because they're more expensive because of the Ingenue link, for like £300 or £400. You can pick up the 24 to 70s for about £600-700 now because the RFs come out, so people are trying to get rid of those. So there's not that huge disparity between the cost on these. But let's have a look at like how good they are. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop recording on this, which is a 50 1.4. I'm going to first of all drop the Ingenue in, and then when I grade this, I'll just put the same look across this and the other one. You can just see straight off what the difference is. So yeah, so that's set for autofocus. So this is autofocus as well. And I'll just set it to 50. That's on 50. And I'm shooting this on a Canon C70 with the full frame speed booster. So it should be a similar field of view. Anyway, so I'll turn off the camera now, change the lens, and then I'll come back. Okay, so we're on the Ingenue, and we're on the Tokina f2.6 to 2.8, and it's a 50mm. So what I've had to do, because the 50mm that was on there before has got like a stop of extra light, I've knocked off the ND on there to sort of bring it to a similar level. But obviously the other ones are 2.8. So when I put that on, you won't see so much difference. So there you go, that's me. This is the 50mm version. I'm not going to apply any sharpening or anything. Basically, I'll use the default sharpening on the CRM file that when it comes into Resolve. But there you go. So I'm on C-Log 2, straight off of the camera. And this is me at 50. Now, the thing to do, obviously, would to go step through the focal lengths and see how, you've got your sharpness and everything like that. But I mean, sharpness isn't 100% how you tell if a lens is any good. A lot of it's to do with the color rendition and stuff like this, but obviously you can tweak that in post. But I mean, straight off the bat, when you look at this, there'll be basic sharpening applied. And just have a look and see what you think. So that's it. So that's the Tokina 24 to 70 at 28 to 70 at 50mm tracking me, and it's doing it quite well. It's doing okay with the tracking, I think. You can see it moving a fair bit. Anyway, so now I'll switch over to the Canon, and you can have a look at that. Okay, so back, and I'm on the Canon EF 24 to 70 L Mark II USM. I've just switched over from the Ingenue, and it's interesting to note that this isn't really, you can't really see it hunting so much. I mean, mind you, it's a Canon lens and it's designed on a Canon system, but there's no, I'm doing the same thing here. It's moving. Anyway, so what I'll do is as I said, I put these through Resolve. I won't put any sharpening on. I'll just put a standard look over the same look over the two pieces of footage, so you can see what you like. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's an oddity, isn't it? These are like super zooms. I mean, 24 to 70. This is 28 to 70. Is a really standard sort of zoom length, isn't it? It's your basic standard zoom. And they're really, really handy. If you get a really good one, then you can sort of forget your primes. You can, if you're in a difficult situation, you need to have multiple focal lengths. These things do the trick. So, I mean, okay, so that's the 24 to 70. Now, I mean, I'll try this. I'm going to jump back out now and set this to 70. So you'll get a really good close up and see if it can track me, because that'll be quite close on my face. So let's try this 70. Okay, so there I am. I'm at 70 mil on the Canon. And then what I'll do is I'll switch back to the, so you see a direct jump between the two. I'll switch back to the Tokina, put that on 70 and see how that looks as well. So I keep looking down here because I've got my monitor. I just want to check them in focus. It's hard shooting for yourself. But I mean, there you go. So that's 70 mil now. So that's at the full extent of the lens. I mean, it can go to 28 or 24 on this, but I don't think it's really worth it. It's just so wide you can't really pick up that much. So I mean, anyway, now I'm on 70 mil and I'm looking straight at the camera. And this is the Canon EF one. Anyway, so now jump back to the Tokina and see what happens at 70 mil without. So I'm now at 70 mil on the Tokina. And I mean, I don't know if you can see much difference or anything. I can see the lens is hunting a lot more. A lot of movement on the lens. Obviously, again, that's an EF lens and it's supposed to design for this. And this is a third party lens, so I don't expect it to be quite as integrated with it. And it's much, much older lens than the EF. Anyway, so I mean, I don't know what you think of that. I mean, it's sort of, have a look, see what you think. And then what I'm going to do now, I'll switch back to the EF50 and just show you some sort of slight physical differences between the two lenses. There you go. That's the 70 mil on the Tokina f2.6 to 2.8. Anyway, so I'm back on the Canon EF 50mm 1.4. Now, obviously, it's on a speed booster there, so it's going to be like on F1 or something, or a lot lower. Anyway, so that's a quick look at those two lenses. Anyway, very quickly, there's big mechanical differences between the two of them. The Tokina, this one here, okay, basically it doesn't extend. It's one of those lenses that stays inside. There's a proper technical term for this. As you see with the Canon, if you go up to, there we go, it's a trombone type thing, goes in and out. So there's a big difference between the two physically. I mean, weight-wise, I think the Tokina is heavier. It was heavier, I'm not sure. Obviously, the Canon's a lot newer, but I don't know. I mean, I just did that quickly because it's a really interesting thing. You see those massive reviews of the Ingenieux type lens, and you think to yourself, oh my God, it must be amazing. But I mean, I think the prices are so similar between these two lenses now that if you like an indie filmmaker and you've got an EF mount camera and everybody's shedding the RF mounts, they're shedding sort of EF lenses because they want to get the RF lenses, or they're sort of selling their EF lenses to fund their RF lenses. That is an incredible lens to pick up. I mean, I've known friends of mine who are like fashion photographers who swear by that zoom. And it's the Canon one is great. And it was so expensive before when it first came out, because a version of it came out at the same time as the Tokina did back in the day. It was nearly £1,000 more expensive, I think. It was £700 more expensive. But now they're so similar, prices so similar, but the quality has not changed. They were both very good lenses, but the Canon is just a phenomenal thing, that lens. I mean, it's such a really good lens. Anyway, I don't know if that helps anybody, but there you go. It just shows you the difference between those two lenses, what they look like. I'm not going to do anything really. Just lock it through Resolve and put a light over the top or something. Or maybe even just use RCN so you can see what they both look like. Anyway,